excuse right now. It's the first one. All right, so
I just wanted to
let's
talk
start.
to you
Noise
about.
and all.
I wanted to talk to you about something that I was thinking about last night.
Oh, I just had an idea for the because you want to upload it. Later on, we can record like an introduction. So then you can use the introduction for every single upload, and then so we can just start recording. Like you have an introduction, and then we just start recording, right, our conversation, and that'll just follow the introduction. Right? So, okay. That being said, let's go.
All right. So it's Ephesians 6:10 to 20.
All right. So today we're discussing a verse from the Bible, and it's called.
It's Ephesians 6:10 to 20.
How do you say that? Ephesians?
Yep.
I know I'm being a little bit particular, but that's new to me, so I want to hear it.
Okay.
Articulate it properly.
It's called the whole armour of God.
Okay.
A final word. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on all of God's armour so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places.
Can I tell you what comes to mind?
Yep.
Because I'm not going to remember everything if I let you read the whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
What I revealed to myself there, or what comes to me, is when it talks about God's armor, it's like. So there's in other scriptures that I've read, there's this idea that there are people that are just conscious of God, and there are people who are just more functional. Their awareness is a bit like that. They're more practical in some ways. Not that people who are conscious of God aren't practical, right? So to be conscious of God, so in some ways you've got to sort of, you can't ignore that. If you know there's something bigger than you, then you have to sort of, you have to walk with it, so to speak. You have to wear it. You have to live it. Like, because otherwise you're just too insignificant compared to these things that are bigger than us, right? And God is the biggest of all, because everything comes under that. It's differentiated from that.
Yeah.
So to wear the God's armor is to be conscious of God and to embrace it and to feel it within you. It's like you're wearing it. It's like it's embodied. I was almost going to say possessed, but it's not possessed because it's being human. You have free will. You see, so you can, and you've got to be careful what you call upon, because some people, they can act possessed because in their lack of awareness, they've embodied the wrong thing. They're wearing the wrong armor. Okay, so to be conscious of God is one thing, but then you've got to embrace it. You've got to wear it. You've got to embody it. You've got to like live it as best you can, because what do we know? You know what I mean? Okay, and then it continues to say,
therefore, put on every piece of God's armour so you will be able to resist.
Right, it's caught up, sorry. Okay, I should probably let you read it so if people watching can be refreshed about it.
Therefore, put on every piece of God's armour so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle you will be standing firm.
Okay.
Stand your ground.
Hang on, I just wanted you to read up to there so I can expand on the rest of that. Because I only explained the first half of that first paragraph. You know, how you've got to embody the armour. But when it talks about the battle with the spirit, now I mentioned that you've got to be conscious of God, or people are conscious of God. You can probably teach people to be conscious of God too. I mean, life is very dynamic. It's not like you've got your lot and that's it. You get to choose, right? Now that being said, once you develop the idea of being conscious of God, it's sort of it lets you sort of see things in a different way. And one of the things you'll realize is that good and evil is in everyone. And that's oversimplifying it a bit. But what I'm trying to say is you get good ideas and bad ideas, right? And it's pretty obvious to you, because if you know in your heart, you know what's good and what's bad, right? It's just built into you, right? Now, one way to look at ideas is they're like, once an idea is developed, it's like a spirit. It becomes it's more than just an idea. Like if you get lots of ideas, they build a personality. If you got lots of personality that shows up in everyone, that's like a spirit. It's like Santa Claus. There's a spirit of Santa Claus. You don't see Santa Claus come down the chimney, but everyone acts like Santa Claus is real. So the spirit of Santa Claus is alive in us. Now that being said, right, you got the spirit, which can be good and bad thoughts. All right. Now, the idea that I wanted to demonstrate here is one way to look at good spirit and bad spirit is angels and demons. So, and that's very real for a lot of people because everyone has good ideas and bad ideas.
Well, maybe we should clarify right here that, see, I take these things very literally.
Okay.
So I believe that there are angels and demons, whereas you...
No, I'm not saying that's not true either. So this is the beautiful thing about this type of art. It's deep. It's multifunctional. Like, have you heard that saying, if you believe it, it's true, and if you don't believe it, it's true. Like, you get to decide. We're made in the image of God because we can create. Because God creates, right? So the divine shows up in us, because it shows up in everything, essentially. But as a human being, you get to choose what you're going to create as well. So you can believe that there's angels. And look, a lot of people will say, oh, this is not true, that's not true, or whatever. But the point is, if you believe something, you're going to act like it's true. But sometimes you can align a lot of truths together. So things can be factually true, scientifically true. It can be, fundamentally, truth is something positive that moves you forward and lets you prosper, lets you procreate and prosper. That's my idea of truth, okay? So anything that sort of supports that has an element of truth in it. And then you can align a lot of different things that have elements of truth in it, scientifically, factually, socially, familiarly, if that makes sense. Like, so the point is, what you said in terms of having literal interpretation is very real in many ways. Because good thoughts can be like angels. Like you show up in my life with good ideas. You tell me when I'm being stupid, you tell me when I'm being good. You're like an angel to me. Like, people will argue about that, but it doesn't matter. I really believe that it's true in many ways, right? So there is a literal interpretation for everything, but this is art. This is deep. It's got everyone's truth in it, not just yours, not just mine. And when we put it all together, then it's a divine truth, because the divine is everything, right?
Can I keep going? Because I don't want to get...
So we don't have to finish it all right now.
Right.
We can do just 2 paragraphs or until we're tired.
Well, there were where it talks about the specific types of armour and what they represent. I wanted to get your interpretation of those
I'll see what I can do.
specifically. So maybe we can look at each one of those one by one. Therefore, put on every piece of God's armour so that you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle you will still be standing firm.
Mommy?
I've got to stop you there. Because
Mom?
Wow.
It's tall.
You're really good at building. Keep
But
doing...
I want to build some stairs.
Yeah, keep doing better, darling.
I can't build some stairs.
Well, if you think like that, you won't. So you got to just try to do it, and then just keep doing better. Okay?
I'll help you with it soon too, after I finish talking to Daddy.
You can do it, darling. Good job. So, that sentence you just read out. What's the biggest enemy you could think of?
For me, it shows up when people make choices to, like, make things crap for other people.
Make things hellish.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I can see that. But what I was thinking about was my biggest enemy is me. Like, there's a part of me, my true higher self. Like, you know how Christians should try to be Christ-like. Well, the best person I could be is like Christ, right? So that's how Jesus shows up in people, by being the best they can be. That's how Jesus is reborn in some ways. But that's another discussion too. So I'm my own worst enemy, right? Because I know how monstrous I can be. Yeah. So I can be my own worst enemy that way. So I have to articulate a vision of what I'm trying to be, and that's divine. That's God showing up me. That's Jesus coming alive again. Yeah. But then I also have the devil in me. Like the worst part of me. So like. So when you read that sentence, I'm looking at it from an individual point of view. So when you get a bad idea, when evil shows up, you wear God's armor. It's like you build yourself, you articulate the person you want to be, so you can grow that part of you. You you can embody that part of you. So when you get a stupid idea, it's fleeting. It goes as quick as it comes because the good part of you is that much bigger and practiced. It's like you live who you want to be, like your ideal. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
a very good sentence to demonstrate that
Yeah.
we're our worst enemy. So you have to choose to be who you want to be, and then act on it.
Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armour of God's righteousness.
That's
Does anything
beautiful.
come to mind?
Well,
Can you hear that?
geez, I could talk about that all day. Putting on the belt of truth. It's like you don't just speak it. You've got to wear it. You've got to embody it. You know. And then righteousness is a consequence of that. Don't try to be righteous because what do we know? You know, just trying to tell your truth and let things unfold and let the righteous show up when it has to.
I guess I don't have a full understanding of what the word righteousness actually
Okay.
means.
I just wanted to add, when you said you don't have a full understanding, I just want to make a point. I might be talking like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just saying what's revealed to me. I'm just saying things how I see it. Like I don't know. All I can do is aim at something good and just get better at sort of bringing that into being, and that includes my understanding. So it's not like I know. It's not like I have the answers. I got my answers for me, right?
Yeah.
And I can share that with you, which is great. So, I digress. You were saying, say what? You don't
Like
have
the
an
term righteousness
okay.
is probably something I should look up. Or
Yeah, I should look it up myself. Because what I like to do is actually define words. So when I use them, I have a deep understanding. I have a deep meaning with it. It's like because I've done that with the word truth, trust, love. I've done it for responsibility. I've done it with the word meaning, individuality, divinity, virtue, heaven, hell, for that matter. But the ones I'm saying are.
can we pause this and look it up?
No, it's okay. Let's make it homework, and
Fine.
and we'll talk about it another time.
Okay. For shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news, which means God's word.
Read that again.
For shoes, put on the peace
Okay, right.
that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared.
Hang on, let me sort of digest that.
Can I explain what that means to me?
Yeah, sure.
So, knowing God's word and His excuse me, and His promises.
Yeah. So knowing God's word and His promises.
Yeah. If we stand firm on those promises,
Yes.
you know, it gives me that sense of peace.
Okay.
So, you know how I had that conflict yesterday where someone was verbally attacking me,
Oh, okay.
and I could have got really angry and upset over it 1 minute, Minka, but I just had to choose to
Be peaceful about it.
be peaceful, stand firm on God's promises for me, like.
Can I expand on that idea of God's promises?
Yeah.
It's really interesting how you got this view. When I think of God's promises, I think of my covenant that I've made with myself, the best part
There's
of
a
me,
big
the
ice
divine.
cream.
It's lovely, Dana. Can you save some for me? Okay, I'll make my own.
Can I have some?
Fine, you can have some.
Hey, let me finish what I was saying while it's fresh in my mind.
Yum.
Dad, taste some.
All right. Thank you. Now can I get back to it? All right. Yeah. God's promises. What comes to me when I think of God's promises is the commitment I have with myself, like my covenant, which is the best part of me. It's like I've made a vow to myself, right?
It's made out of.
To do all the things that I really want to do, that I really need to do to make my life better, right? So that's like a promise with God, but it's a two-way thing. It's promised to me if I do what I have to do, I have faith in the outcome. Like whatever it is going to be good. Might not be what I expect, but it's like it's a promise, And usually when you keep your promises, good things come of it, though. So it's like, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mika, can you come around here? If you want to be on the camera, you can come and sit on my leg. You can build it again. Never mind.
I'll fix it. Can I put
So,
some more on?
interesting first video.
In addition,
The hustle of life happening around us.
in addition to all of these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil.
Can you read that again?
In addition to all of these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil.
Right. That sort of goes. That's sort of what comes to mind is that reinforces what I was just saying to you about keeping the promise to myself, and I have faith that whatever comes from that is going to be good. So whenever you feel tempted or wavered, or whenever someone is rude to you, you have faith in the person you're trying to be,
Yeah.
and that's the shield. It's like a bulwark against any sort of
Here's mine.
evil, which sort of, in a very simplified way. Like evil can be anything that sort of goes against your truth, goes against your goodness, right? So you have faith in your covenant, you have faith in yourself, have faith in the best person you're trying to be. Like have faith in Jesus showing up in your life in terms of being the best person you can be. Have faith in the divine, and that will shield you from all of the stupidness you could be. Because God knows we can be really stupid, you know. Because the devil shows up in many ways, like with bad ideas and all the dumb things we can do to make things worse, you know. And you shield yourself from that with the faith in yourself, and
Because that's the thing, like we're faced like all the time with making either the good choice or the bad choice, you know, and like it's just so important to make the good choice if we want to make things better for ourselves.
absolutely, man. That's life, man.
Does that
That's what
look
it is.
creepy?
A little bit, yeah, my eye on you.
What's she saying?
Does that look creepy? She's putting her face.
What are you doing that for? She's my little monster.
Alright.
I encourage you to be good. Yes.
Put on salvation as your helmet and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Sword of the Spirit.
I don't think so.
Well, so again, using the word of God and standing on His promises,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
the sword of the Spirit. It's interesting. It's like I guess what comes to mind is like I'm speaking from my experience in terms of me trying to transform into the best person I could be. Like, see, there's a part of me that's like embodied, very individual. Some people might call it a persona, and then there's my consciousness that comes to me, like it's connected to everything. The person I used to be, the person I am now, the person I could be. Like it's I'm oversimplifying it. One day maybe I can go into more depth about the technicality of that. But why I'm saying that is because a lot of, to me, thought is in spirit. So it's like as you develop the person you're trying to be, like the persona, and it's important to align that with all the good things, rather than let it be an ego, if that makes sense, right? So you've got to align your persona with all the good things to be the best person you can be, and then sometimes you've got to be determined. Sometimes you've got to be, you know what? These bad ideas that I get, they can die. You know, I have to be very deliberate, very determined, like as if I'm holding a sword, saying, "Hey, you know, I'm going to be the person I choose to be all the time." You know, you've got to be very, very. It's not like you're fighting. It's more like being assertive. It's more like standing up and saying, you know,
Yeah.
I have strength, but I'm not gonna. It's not like It's not like you're going to be like you. It's not that you're being forceful about it. It's like you're just embodying your determination. You're staying on the path. Like, and it takes some strength, which and sword can be a symbol of strength, right? So you've got to be strong in spirit. You've got to be strong in thought.
That's right. Like you don't
Right.
want to cower away from.
No, but the point is you've got to be strong in thought. Because sometimes your impulses, like your embodied impulses, like to eat sugary stuff or to use drugs or sexual desires, things like that, that can be very impulsive, and that's not. You know, and it can sort of possess you in some ways. Like if you want that, you know, and then your spirit, the person you could be, sort of takes a side step, and then you're being very impulsive, being like a one-eyed monster, just focused on whatever it is in spirit, as opposed to bring forward the best person you could be in the spirit. So that best person you could be has to be armed. That's not probably not the right word, because it's not like you're going to fight. You don't have to fight. It's beyond that. It's like you know who you have to be. You don't have to fight it. You just got to stick to it. You got to be faithful to it. You got to be strong. You know. So, and I'm going on about it a bit, but how long is this? How many more paragraphs? Because I think
just to the end here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's everything in terms of putting on God's armour.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's saying pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion.
See, that's when I try to pray. I pray out loud, but also there's parts of my prayer where I do it in the Spirit, just in thought. But this is the really interesting thing. Well, like when I'm praying out loud, then I'll visualize myself praying out loud, but it's in thought, and it's like I overlay it. It's almost like an exercise for my brain. It's like when people meditate, they're asked to focus on something. So the way I focus is I see myself with my eyes, and then I see myself with my spirit. Like if I close my eyes, I can still see. I imagine I can still see everything around me, and I overlay that in spirit and in body.
Okay.
And then it's like such clarity comes to me. All the noise stops. I'm very focused. I'm very articulate. And then as soon as my mind interrupts me, I just start again. I visualize myself in spirit and in body. So that's really so when you think of spirit, think of thoughts, because thoughts build into spirit. Thoughts build into personalities. Like hang on, thoughts build into ideas. Ideas can build up into a personality. Personality can build up into like a character, and lots of different characters, because there's a lot of similarities between all human beings, right? So all these different characters make a spirit, but everyone can embody that spirit, right? But at the root of all that was a thought. So when they're talking about spirit, you build spirit with thoughts. If you have good thoughts, and you develop it into good ideas, and then you develop that into good characteristics, you develop that into a good personality, then you develop that into a good character, you know. At the root of it is a thought, but you're building spirit, that's the point, okay? So whenever you hear spirit...
Well, it's interesting because it talks about, I forget where it is in the Bible, but it talks about the fruits of the Spirit, you know, love, joy, peace, patience.
Yeah, that's such a great metaphor, because fruit is something that nourishes you, sustains you. So if you have good thoughts, if you build good spirit, it sustains you, it nourishes you.
I just went to the toilet.
Okay.
It's divine, it's beautiful.
Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. And pray for me too. Ask God to give me the right words so I can boldly explain God's mysterious plan, that the good news is for Jews and Gentiles alike. This was Paul, by the way. When he was imprisoned.
Okay.
I am in chains now, still preaching this message as God's ambassador. So pray that I will keep on speaking boldly for him as I should.
You know what comes to mind there? Everyone, just listen to me for a second, darling, and then you can have a turn talking, alright?
No.
Okay. You know what comes to me when it talks about him, when he describes himself being in chains? See, this is the beauty of this type of art. You can take it literally, because he was in prison and all that, but we always imprison ourselves in life. We bind ourselves to addictions or bad behavioural patterns. But even though like this is really good precursor to transformation, when you can see your chains, so to speak, you still got to preach the good word. You still got to aim for who you're trying to be, because that'll pull you out. That'll let you drop the dead baggage. You know, that'll break the chains, so to speak. What does Jordan Peterson say? That'll burn off the dead wood. Right? All right. Wow. Preachers. All right. On that note, we're going to go talk to some religious people that have just showed up.
See you.